Welcome everyone for the second Rewild talk. It's the first one that we call it, or the first time that we call it a Rewild talk. I'm Karel Proot from Breekijzer. Breekijzer is one of the partners in the Rewild the City project. And welcome for this Rewild talk on greening school grounds. There was a lot of interest from people all over Europe, especially in Belgium. So I'd like to welcome you all. I'll give a short introduction and a welcome. And then it's Kristian Åbacka's turn, who will give some lessons from Finland, but I'll introduce Kristian later. Then we'll go into a reflection from the city of Ghent by Raf Van Holderbeke. Then we'll have a collective Q&A session. You can ask questions in the chat. And then we'll quickly go through what is next in the upcoming program. This session will be recorded. I think it's already the case. So you will be able to find the recording of the session later on our YouTube channel. You will also get a link if you were registered to the talk. And there you will also be able to find the other Rewild talk recordings. So they're available for all of you for later consultation. So as I said before, we have people from over Europe. It's the partners from Rewild. It's also other transfer partners from other cities. There are other Belgian cities. Here it says Flanders, but I think it should actually be Belgium. There are other European cities, and then there's the European Urban Initiative team. And quickly, what is Rewild the City actually? Maybe you're not familiar yet. Rewild the City is an innovative European project centered in the city of Ghent, but with other transfer partners over Europe, where the main goal is to accelerate desealing and greening of the city, both in the public and private domain. We try to implement innovation and tackle barriers, for example, green management, and engaging various stakeholders is a very important part of it. So citizens, but also other private partners. So not only the government. And you can find more about it on the website. Within the Rewild the City project, there is one working package called the transfer package, where we both have site visits. So it's in-depth sharing of expertise in Ghent, but also in the other cities like Guimarães, Helsinki, or Wrocław. And then we also have these online learning sessions that we now call the Rewild Talks. And this is the second one. And there will be more sessions throughout 2026 and 2027. The first one was on long-term co-creative green management. So we will share that info with you as well in the follow-up to this talk. But then, without further ado, I will give the words to Kristian Åbacka, who works for the Finnish Supervisory Agency. So he's not talking from a city's perspective, but actually from a kind of regional government or above regional government, which we thought would be interesting because a lot of us working in cities have experience with these kind of agencies that, for example, give subsidies. So it's an interesting, different perspective. And he has a background in education and has been involved with dozens of school ground greening projects all over Finland. So I will stop sharing and I will give the word to you, Kristian.
Thank you, Karel, and hello from snowy Finland. I have There's not so much snow as in the trees, but I have some snow on the ground here still, so I keep this background picture as long as I have snow on my backyard. This picture was took last Saturday. I was walking with my son in the forest, and we saw a fallen tree. This is the base of the root. And we discussed with my son then about why this tree has been falling. And last autumn, lots of trees fall down all over in Finland, thousands and thousands. And we discussed that the winds are getting stronger because of the climate change. We don't have more storms, but the storms are getting stronger, and the tree is not ready for the climate change. The roots goes to the side, not straight down. That could make it stronger. And boy asked, why doesn't the root go straight down? Because the tree doesn't know about the climate change, but we people know about the climate change, so we could have action for it. When you look in the middle of the tree roots, it makes a star. And we discussed a bit about the star shapes in the nature. And the boy said we have in flower, we have star shape. In the snow, we have star shape. In the sea, we have star shape. But also like human being with the hands and legs are like star shape. And now going to the reason why I'm here, why I'm doing this work. The main thing is what we should do in the schools to get the understanding that we are part of the nature and we should protect it. And we can protect it, but nobody else can protect it. One of my favorite phrases from Susan Hampshire, we need to bring the child in the nature and nature to the child. And that's like the so easy thing that just adding and having more nature close to the child environments is the most important thing we can do in the schools nowadays. There's my 9-year-old boy who loves to climb in trees all around. A little bit Finland, we have land of the 1,000 lakes. Not really, we have 190,000 lakes over. And here's our national anthem. Lots about nature, and it's so important that we love these dals and overs and mind and dierbar. It's very dierbar for us. So nature is very close to all of us. And I show you a 1-minute video of Finland, 9th time in a row. The seasons are very strong in Finland.
Kristian, we cannot hear the sound.
Okay. There is the sound also.
Of happiness and our natural flow. We wake up or sleep late. Then we head out to hike, out to bike, out to see friends. Then we grill. And after sauna and lake, we chill. Then repeat. Wake up, head out, grill some, swim some, chill. Wake up, head out, chill. Do that for a couple of weeks and you'll be the next 11 months. Trust us, we are the happiest country in the world. We know our we feel.
Okay, so we're the happiest country in the world for the nighttime. And there's lots of freedom with the nature. We have every man's rights that we can go in the forest and pick some mushroom, pick some berries, and especially in the summertime, we have lots of free. And this is like the reasons why we're the happiest country. And there is the freedom, quite big in the right corner, that we have freedom. But do we have the freedom? I will ask in the school grounds. And here. Then when I compare to Belgium, that we have a bit more freedom. This you're ranked 66 and Finland was ranked 11 of this freedom feeling. But otherwise quite the same as in Belgium. You're also really happy people over there. But then when we go to school ground, this is a 7th to 9th grade school ground in Hyvinkää, Helsinki. And it looks like it's planned that the kids can stand in a circle and spit in the ground in the middle. and maybe hang around with their mobile phones, nothing else. So it's a big problem, especially these upper grades school grounds, to have them more green. This is what I like started with. But then we have these rural areas outside the cities, and we have some old green school grounds like this also that have quite interesting natural parkour. Up there you see like quite big cliff, and in the winter time the kids were jumping off there in the snow, and also some kind of cliff that is very slippery when wet. We have, and here is also an old daycare center from the 70s. And nowadays, if we build, we do everything but flat. We don't save the nature as we did in the 70s. So where have we gone wrong? What have we done wrong in the latest years? Here's also one more old school. And we can see that in this school, but particularly the kids are more like physical active, and also they have a bit better grades than in other schools, and it's so much green in this school ground. But we have a strong feeling that the children should move safely under adult supervision in fenced environment in the school and daycare grounds. And it almost looked like this. And here is one school ground that was funded in 2020. And if you look, it's not so much different different than this. And this was like my wake-up call that we have to do something. We are doing something wrong here. Still, we have this a bit older. This was built in 21, so some cities, some daycare grounds are taking the forest in use, but it's not the mainstream to have kindergartens, daycare centers like this. So we had also some studies that the greening of the yard was positive to the mood, coping, and motivation, well-being of children and staff was coming here in the beginning of the 20s. And also we have been in the newspaper like Guardians. 80 million people was reading about the Finland kindergarten's radical experiment, bring forest into preschool. So we have quite good studies about this in Finland. And all this is like a mini review from last week, the benefits of the green school ground. So we had lots of this information about why we should promote change our school grounds, not build any more fences and paved surface. We should do more natural. And I think, what should I do? I had been working with this quite long and nothing really happens. And here is also some more studies, how the green school ground was good for physical activity, girls benefit, and the size of the school ground, the surfaces, the topography was all involved with the physical activity in the school ground. And there was also some more impacts. The play is enriched, the interaction between pupils enhanced, the girls was more physical active again. And I say that we have quite many school grounds that are primary built for boys. This is from Spain. This one like a football, basketball court, but this is quite typical, normal in Finland also, that the boys have quite big movement spaces, but the girls are moving wherever they are moving. And this is the other one from Copenhagen, where they have less football, more other stuff for girls. And this should be like our goal also in Finland. So in 2023, there was a conference, and there was the left hand of the Ministry of Sports and Culture was having the opening speech. And after the opening speech, it was a coffee break. And I went to him and say, hello, my name is Kristian, and you could help me and help the kids in Finland. And he said, okay, come to the parliament and I give you 30 minutes. And I went there to speak with him, but he was late. So I had 15 minutes to tell him why we need green school grounds. So I presented first that a good schoolyard, it should be big, it should be gender neutral, something for boys and girls, rich in play possibilities, uneven, have hills, there should be nature, biodiversity, and lots of things that we don't really have in our school grounds. I was telling this to the left hand of the minister, and then I was also telling what are they doing in different parts of Europe. This is from Sweden, Lund. They have this wonderful childhood education units, and they are doing small progress all the time. Then the France Oasis project, this maybe you know about this one. They are preparing for global warming. They want to provide students with healthy and inspired learning environment and create places for positive encounters. And then Barcelona, almost the same, a bit smaller project with a bit different object. And then Berlin, Grümerschule, which one I love. The asphalt yards of the Stalin era in Eastern Berlin, they have changed to the green ones. And I also tell the left-hand of minister that I have been bringing 3 trips of people from Finland over there, and they would like to do something to the school grounds, these 20 cities, but they don't really have the knowledge and the money to do the changes, what we should do. And also we had at this time quite good this construction recommendation sheet, how to build daycare centers and basic education facilities. They said that we should promote health and well-being on the school grounds by effect of nature. Then there should be physical activity environment, and then pedagogical opportunities to have the curriculum outside. These 3 things are coming in the papers, but still the cities were building against these recommendations. So we had these quite big problems. And then I showed also this video I took from Tokyo, and here is no sound on this video. That even in a very million big city like Tokyo, they have lots of different plants, water elements like this in the daycare center, outdoor kitchen, so many different electric circle, and lots of different like play opportunities to be physical active, to study, and also like the adults in this Tokyo Miyamai daycare center. And here they had some new plants they could play with, just a bunch of plants they play with. And the adults were like researching and having on the adventure and playing with the children and looking. This is lava sand. Lava sand is very good for building different kind of stuff. Here's also outdoor education. And the thing is with this Skopje, what is the main difference between Finnish ground, that this is not a copy from any ground. This is a unique place. Look at this biodiversity, so much flowers and stuff. This is not a copy from anything else. This is like they want to bring the Japanese nature to the children, and so much different stuff. Here we go to the hill area. There is a tree house they had built with the parents here. Here is Sharon Gamson Danks from California, and some more children. And look at how the play equipment is like implemented in the hill. Here's some people from Portugal and Chile, maybe you know them. And then here is also the play equipment in the forest. So, and children are playing here by their own. No adults can be seen anywhere. And it was a huge, huge area for kids in these ages to play with. And it's soon come to an end. Here's nice willow tunnel also, and this was interesting. Here in the end, I went here. Here was like a water place also, and the boys were playing down there. So much different. So the minister said, okay, here is 1 million euro, and do what you want to do with it. So I read the paper that this is for more nature on daycare grounds, and we get 43 projects that wanted to be funded all around Finland. And I show now you of this first funding, what kind of projects we were funding. And this was for daycare grounds mostly. The main goal of this money was to have more natural surface materials, like safety chips, safety sand, gravel, lawn, and turf. Then plantings that promote physical activity, like this bush alley. You see, you can run there and play when you have bush up from the fence. It's quite nice. Then some hills, to make hills. We have nice winter, but so many school ground doesn't have any toboggan hills for skiing and climbing. And then some kind of like natural sport facilities to have logs, stones, rocks for climbing and this, because it was like physical activity funding by adding nature. And here is one a daycare center that was funded. They were quite small money amount. And this is very interesting. Just by adding stones and logs like this was make the environment more interesting. And the wood chips was one big thing that we wanted to have on the most of the school grounds. Then we have here is on the left side Lempälä. This is a very typical daycare center ground from Finland, what we have. And these are very hot during the summertime. And these daycare centers are also open in June and July. And especially when it's get so dry and heat, especially when the kids are much lower than the adults. So these are very hot places. And some days they have to be inside because of the surface materials. This is very hot. So they change it to this kind of a bit grass and wood chips and balance. But as you see, no hills yet. No like even no small hills. They feel that that's makes the supervision more harder. And they also have this small asphalt for biking that they were building in this place. Some rainwater usage projects in many projects, and this is one that we try to take the rainwater and put it on the ground. Then some other pictures from Lempälä also, before and after picture, and quite easy stuff, and what that didn't cost so much money to do this kind of project. Some trees planted also. This was one like almost 20 project did some kind of fence moving. We could see that they have forest or park next to the daycare ground. Before you see the yellow yellow wheelchair here, the fence was going here before, but now it's went all away over there behind over there. So to move the fence and make the ground bigger is like the cheapest and the easiest thing we do. And but then when we were doing this, and I called one principal that, do you like the new forest? Well, I like it, but the kids are stumbling and falling around quite much in the forest, so they have to a bit adjust the usage of the forest because they are stumbling there. So this is this kind of attitude we are working with, that it's they feel it's like dangerous when the kids fall around in the forest. Yes. We have some researchers that said that in this funding, there was still this some kind of persistent idea that colorful safety platforms and fancy play equipment was still progress. So we should, if we are funding in future, there should be no reduction of nature. And the staff should be more strongly involved in all the projects, and also the kids should be more involved in the planning of the project. They should have more time to plan. And then this microbial exposure, to get the gut health, more microbiome for the people, better immunity for type 2 diabetes, allergies, stuff like this. This should be more bigger goal in the funding. But for 2025, there was no national funding. And I think, okay, was this 1 million here now and no, nothing yet, nothing else. We can't do nothing in the future. So I was looking around. Still, there was some like Jyväskylä City built this daycare center in 2025 with nice nature, and they also like saved a lots of the old nature and built a bigger fence to have it usage. And also Helsinki said that they are changing their daycare building strategies, that the nature should be saved. This is quite close to Helsinki center, this one, and this was also that like the fence were moved away from the daycare center so they could get this slope and this forest usage. And look at this microbial play here. Very nice. And here's other picture from the Helsinki, and there is a huge wet log, and this kind of changing of attitudes here also, because the log is a bit dangerous. Some adults say the big log was a danger for the smaller kids, but the smaller kids are not. They don't take the risk that they go there, but the bigger kids can take the risk and go on these places. But lots of mud and play equipment was done still, but still we didn't have any funding for 2025. So we have this called Sitra. It's a Finnish innovation fund. It's an independent public body in Finland that operates under the parliament to promote Finland's competitiveness, well-being, and sustainable future. They come out with a paper in end of 2024, and they said that nature can provide Finland with benefits up to hundreds of millions of euros in the prevention of endemic diseases. And they had an example in this paper from Belgium, that Belgium had estimated that the health benefits of nature is 464 euros per capita per year. And this kind of savings could benefit Finland with 2.5 billion euros for Finland's population. So thank you, Belgium and Flanders. This was the research. Leo de Nocker, Inge Likens, Caroline Becks, and Steven Brox. This kind of study helped us to get the funding we get after this. And in this Sitra report, in this paper, there was this sixth point, that these people's everyday environments should be changed. And there was this the natural environments near schools and daycare centers, and like we should have more greener natural environment, and the greening of the environment in the school grounds and daycare centers could save Finland money in these health costs in the future. So this paper that was inspired by the Belgium study helped us. And then one more help from Belgium. We had a Teams presentation from people called Gorik Van Helleput and Victor Brunsels. Had some very important people in Finland. I had a group of them in Helsinki. And they said that in Belgium, a region called Flanders, 6.8 million, a little bit bigger than Finland. We have like 5.5, not so quite same as Finland. You have this objective that you want more nature and less paved surface, and you have had fundings for 167 schoolyards, 20 million, 23, 24, 60 schoolyards for 5 million euros. And this like same area like Finland, and this big national funding. Here's also a school picture from Arendonk's school ground. Was the basics then that we got a 2.5 million funding or investment grant for municipalities to improve the physical activity condition and daycare centers and comprehensive schools by adding more nature to the school grounds. With this funding, now we had three biggest goals. One, daily exercise, more physical activity. The second, this microbial health, well-being and health by adding nature. And number three, the climate change. We should prepare for climate change, for the rainwater and shade and heat. And this grant was written by me, but I got the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Affairs and Health, and Ministry of Environment to apply for this money. And we got 34 applications for this year, and we are doing the decisions next month. but I'm going to show you a couple of applications, what kind of things they are want to funding for. And now I also have written the paper for year 2027, and very probably is that we're gonna get some funding for exactly the same object: exercise, well-being, and health by microbiome, adding microbial things, and then the climate change to prepare for the climate change, save the children from the bad things from climate change. From these things, I think we're going to get maybe 2.5 million again that we can share for the municipalities of the whole Finland for year 2027. So I'm very much looking forward to this. Here is some application. This is, I think this was from Helsinki application, but this is a school ground, and you see quite much greenery. I go closer to some parts. There is bushes, different bushes, like outdoor classroom thinking a bit, and then all the surfaces, natural materials, small hills, some trees. So looking quite promising. Promising. This is like a primary school ground that wants to do a change. Here is one school ground from Vantaa that wants to have change. And you see, what do you think that the kids are doing on this school ground? They asked them, and what are you doing on the school ground? They say they spend time with friends and they play football. And who plays football? We can say that the light blue is boys and dark blue is girls. So 50% of boys plays football mostly, and only 10% of the girls play football. So to have a 100% almost football field, you can see that the 90% of the girls have nothing really to do if it's only a football field. About this project, they asked the kids, what do you want to do on a new school ground if you have possibilities? And there's number one thing is climbing and hanging around and be physical active. They also asked like the parents and the teachers. The most dark is the teachers. What do you think they want to do? And also football is quite strong, but there is still even stronger than football was maybe this play, research, and adventure, to have adventure. And something else what the kids wanted to explore the forest, play hide and seek, trampoline, and to have some places to calm down also was very popular here. And they have this, what is your dream school ground? Choose one or two of these places. And here is this one has the biggest 34% of the kids wanted this kind of climbing and balance area on the school ground. And the next biggest was this one, this kind of shady bush play space was number two. And then, so that's quite nice. And then what kind of outdoor classroom you want? They wanted this one from Rotterdam, Rotterdam Center. You have maybe been to this school ground. They wanted that one was especially the most popular. And then what kind of hanging around do you want? And here's the teacher said, the teachers want this in this school. So here is one thing about the attitudes. Okay, strong number two was for the 10 teacher. 3 teachers said this and 5 teachers said this would be a nice place to hang around. So we still have this kind of attitude that this kind of things are improvement in the school ground. But 21%, this was the number one for the 230 kids. They answered they want this place most. And that was the second. And then the third place was some else here. Then climbing and some kind of physical play what kind of equipment you want. And here was quite interesting that these two were not popular in the climbing stuff, but here the net stuff was popular. So also that I think we don't have really we don't have the new think of like how to implement the like nice climbing stuff into the nature, into the hills. That would be really nice for the primary school also, that could win this kind of climbing equipments in the how interesting it is. So there is still in the future upcoming what kind of places those are. We have some studies ongoing in Finland that are really interesting. This is the Get Stronger study. It's about children's well-being and immune system. And there is several daycare centers. All the daycare centers that we have been funding, they are studying with them. And they are taking blood and hair samples of hundreds of kids and do also surveys for families. How is the microbial exposure helping their immune system? So this is a couple of millions of money with for the Natural Resource Institute of Finland and the University of Tampere that is doing this big research. And then another one just started as a smarter study that we have, that now in next summer this Metsäniitty daycare center and school is going to be changed, and how the more nature school ground affect the children's everyday lives and climate resilience and the environment. So this is a very interesting study we have now started ongoing. There is also other cities in Europe that are in the smarter study. And then I have to look to Sweden. Sweden are doing quite a very interesting study also. The Stockholm University Karolinska Institutet is studying. They had a funding of 1 million euros for the study, and they are renovation, this natural kind of renovation of the school grounds, and they are checking with accelerometer and GPS for 3,600 children how this change of the school ground from paved surface to more green, how is it changing the everyday mobility and climate resilience. Here is one picture of the school renovation and the study in Stockholm. So they are doing this GPS and accelerometer before the reconstruction and after reconstruction, always the study. And in spring 2028 we are we know how this affects the kids in Sweden. The future, what should we do next? And after this afternoon I have a 1 hour lesson in Finnish for this kind of environmental teachers who are thinking about how to get the development on and use of the yard stronger into the curriculum. What kind of yards are best to do the curriculum outside? And this is one big topic now that we are working with. But then changing the teachers' attitudes. It's easier said than done, how to see that this natural environment is better also for the teachers. And we should stop copying and wanting the old grounds all the time. And then strengthening and the competence of the client who orders these school ground and daycare grounds. Also, we need to strengthen it because we are ordering wrong stuff, wrong kind of grounds. And the last thing, we need to bring the child in the nature and more nature closer to the child. It's so easy, just add more nature. It's like the more main thing we should do now and in the future here in Finland. We also have this because we can't fund all the 2,000 primary schools and 3,000 daycare schools in Finland. So we ordered this kind of, we make this guidebook. And I'm so proud of this guidebook. I'm sad that it's not yet in English. I could share it to you, but soon we're gonna get this also translated to English. It's a very nice guidebook how to translate, how to work with school grounds and daycare grounds to make more nature-based play, nature-based learning environment, and physical activity environments with adding nature. And it's the Nomaji landscape architect firm that have been working with this guidebook. And we already have 1,000 copies of this already have been shared to teachers, to architects, to people who are working with this kind of with school grounds. And they have said that this is the best book best book that have been done in Finland ever. And yeah, I just say here about the waking up to the spring now after the winter. We have a famous metal band in Finland, Nightwish, that you all should listen to, especially the song Elan. And this band wants to make the connection stronger with the human being and nature. So try to listen sometime to Nightwish if you want, just an extra. But the last one we have next 2027 September, we're gonna have the International School Ground Alliance Conference in Helsinki. I want to invite you all over there. And then I'm quite active in LinkedIn. When we get new school grounds, new stuff from Finland, I am always posting them in LinkedIn. So just go and follow me there, and you will be updated. Dank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kristian.
Thank you.
I found it very interesting. You shared so many valuable things, how important it is to make school grounds more natural for health, to respond to the climate crisis, but maybe most importantly, just for the sake of fun for the children. How international cooperation like this shares not only knowledge, but can also help for funding. Very interesting, I think, for many people here. And then these insights in what children want, and then how it compares to what teachers want, and maybe how we should focus on that more, changing this attitude. And maybe this guidebook, we'll be sure to, if it's available in English, to share it to the people here. Yes, I could go on, but and I'm sure there are many questions, so feel free to already ask them in the Q&A, but we will get back to it after Raf Van Holderbeke, who works for the Green Service of the city of Ghent, is a landscape architect and has a lot of experience on actually designing this playground. So it's a different perspective, and he will share a reflection on what has been happening in Ghent, what some barriers are, what they already do very well. So without further ado, Raf, I'll give the word to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Here we go. Well, my name is Raf, indeed. I'm a landscape architect.
Raf, you're muted. We could hear you before,
Yes.
but now, yeah,
Okay.
that's better.
Something strange happened. I'm still sharing, right?
Yes.
It's okay now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I will tell you from the perspective of the city of Ghent on how we green school grounds and how we manage it. So we have two services in the city, like the educational facility management and the green service. So we are really a tandem that works together to get accomplishments. The facility management department is responsible for the paving, the new hardening, the sewerage works and the utility pipes, and also playground equipment. So they are really responsible for the big constructions. Then after the big constructions, we come in with the green service, and then we do the landscape designing with the natural play features, and then planting trees, perennials, all kind of planting. And we also do sometimes soil improvement and planting bed protection. Inside the green service, I already told you I'm the landscape architect, and then we also have an inspector who controls the different teams we have. We have one school team of 3 people who is constantly working on the schools, planting and doing maintenance. And then we have the general maintenance teams all over the city. And we also have a construction team for like doing bigger work with cranes, making playing hills or stuff like that. The process that I always do is, at first we set up a working group from the school. It can be teachers, parents, the principal, everybody who's involved with the school is welcome there. And then we do an analysis, like we take pictures of the outdoor playground. We really get into the story that what do they want, what are the strengths and the weaknesses of the outdoor playground already. How can we enhance that? From that analysis, we go over to a vision. It's mostly a vision text, or it can they can make it with pictures or anything. It just has to be clear what they really want and which kind of direction they want to go to. Then from the vision, we make strong concepts that you can hang on your design to. And after that, when you have the pre-design, we go back to the working group. That's why it goes in circles. You always come back to the working group and discuss it to get the big final design eventually. Our main vision and policy in the city is, of course, optimal depaving and greening, biodiversity and cooling, and water infiltration. But what's also really important is the ecological management and the natural aesthetics. So we will always choose natural wood, or instead of concrete or metal. It's just like the aesthetics of the playground is also really important for us. And then Kristian also talked about it already, the green as education. So really try to involve the lessons into the outdoor space. Well, the positive aspects is also a thing Kristian already talked about a little bit, but it's really important. Like the children will have a stronger immune system. There will be less bullying, the reduction of ADHD symptoms, but also the concentration in the school will be better. The teachers really notice it, that if it's a green school ground, the concentration is better and there's less stress and anxiety. From now on, I will show you the projects we've done already, the accomplishments we've had. At first, I will show you the large construction projects, and then afterwards, minor procedures. So the first project is the Boomgaard. It's all Dutch names, but it's not a problem, I think. So it's always before and after picture. So here, it was a totally new renovation of the playground. And as you can see, there were a lot of shrubs extra, a lot of planting extra. Notice on the right side of the pictures, you can still see the tree huts. But that's the only thing that remains after the construction. This is another view of the school ground. So we depaved everything. We put in a sand pit and a lot of new planting. This is primary school Westerham. This is a newly project we have only did last year. So the planting still has to come out a little bit, settle a little bit. So this is a next picture. The picture on the right is from sowing, actually, because we did this in summer, the construction, and then you can't plant anything because it's not planting season. So then we sow it, and it looks like this for a few months, and afterwards we plant it. This is another side of the playground. You can still recognize one of the construction of the play constructions on the right, but for the rest, we depaved almost everything, but we left over one little road for the little bicycles of the kindergarten. It was an important thing for them that they could still use the little bikes, but for the rest, we will plant it. It's already planted, and there will also come willow huts. Then the thing I also wanted to share is you will always have some surprises, but just keep on going with it. Here a big surprise for us was we found a bunker of World War II beneath playgrounds. So yeah, it's a big surprise. You don't know it is there. So then we took the opportunity to make a tour of it, so people could come watch and could come see inside the bunker. And afterwards, we just closed it up and went further with the progress. So this is the end of the project. It's now 5 years old already. You see some small huts for children to deconnect, to talk also with other children. There are climbing walls, trees, etc. A new project is Finland Middle School. Here, what we really wanted to do was a non-stimulation zone. So peace and quiet, because there were a lot of children who stayed inside over noon because it was just too loud outside. They didn't really have a place to calm down. So the design of this was only peace and quiet. We have also an arena outdoor class for not when it's in the afternoon, but just when a teacher wants to go outside with a class. Then we use seating logs, sensory borders, and shadow plants. Sensory borders we use for stimulation of the sensories. It's another thing to involve a lot of children with it. And then the shadow plants is because there isn't a lot of sun in this area, so we chose for the shadow plants. We also used boulders, and then the green pergola is the picture on the right. The big logs, the big vertical logs you see, they will grow with climbing plants, and eventually it will be a fully green pergola. Another school, Het Tandwiel. The picture on the left is during construction, and then the other two pictures is after 2 or 3 years. So the shrubs already had some time to grow. After 2-3 years, if it looks like this, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm proud. So another picture of the outside. You see, it's really forestry. So we had already a lot of big trees, but we tried to use also dead logs to make it more look like a wild forest, actually. Then this was a picture I wanted to show because the nature education I already talked about. I hid faces of the children for privacy reasons, but it's then it's easy. It's good for them to have animal discovery. So they found some ants. They put it in a little bowl, and they were really discovering it. So it was good for the children to get closer to the animals, and on this way, we try to involve them in the education. Water play is also a big thing. We try to introduce it. It's not always very easy, but in here we did it with a water pump, and then it can just infiltrate in the sand soil. So the children can choose which canals they dig out, what kind of stuff they dig. So okay, that were the big projects, and now the minor procedures we also try to do with the green service is optimal greening. So we see we have open soil, and then we try to really plant it so the children have more spaces to hide or greener stuff to go through. A big problem also on the outdoor spaces of schools is shadow, urban heat island effect. So with vertical gardens, we try to make shadow formations. We use trees and vertical gardens. This is another example of a vertical garden. When you don't have a lot of space, we still try to make it as green as possible. So this is a small area of an outdoor space. It's not big as you see, so we try to use as much space vertical as possible. Then what we also do is well thought out room layout. So as you see on the picture on the left, the logs were just dropped there. It wasn't really clear for the users how they could use the space. So then in the design, we pulled it straight that it was clear how to use the space. Then a big problem also is water issues. Here we found a solution by putting vertical drainage inside the ground. And then there was space for a planting bed, so we made another planting bed. So the results of what we did or what we do is in the planting season in 1 year, mostly we do like 4 or 5 schools with our green service. Like I told already, we only have 3 people in the school team. So we try to do as much as possible with them, and sometimes also with maintenance teams. And then the depaving we did for primary school Westerham is 500 square meters, and in another school 380 square meters, but also 1,300 permeable paving, so that the water can also infiltrate. And then in the future, we have 3 big projects coming. So the Stadspoort, 1,000 square meters, 500 square meters, and Dialoog, 100 square meters. Okay, here we go. And then the finishing touch, where stones disappear, game grows. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raf. Again, that was very interesting. So many beautiful examples of using these natural materials, of really daring to depave a lot and green a lot. The importance of nature education again. I think, again, this has brought up many questions in the audience, but maybe we can, there are already a lot of questions for Kristian, so maybe we can, I can ask some to Kristian if you're ready to respond to some. I see you've been responding in the chat already or in the Q&A, but maybe Kristian, let's do it publicly. There was a first question with a lot of attention on how we could use the school terrains outside school hours. In Ghent, or in what this person experienced, there is a fear of vandalism during the so-called dark hours. How would you advise schools in Ghent or in Flanders or other places in Europe to share their school terrain?
Yeah, we can see it in Finland also quite often, that in the city centers and in not so good areas, the school grounds are more plain and easy built, that there is not so much things you can destroy at all. But when we go away from the cities and in the smaller municipalities and smaller places with less people, they have more nature, more planting, stuff like this. One thing they have been tackling is this signs. Please, the school ground is built by the kids. Please respect it. These kind of things. Of course, also surveillance camera and the lights. Lights are quite good, but we are trying to make the school grounds that the families would go to the school grounds on the evenings, weekends, and holidays. Then it's a good school ground if they use it. And all of our daycare grounds, all of our school grounds, 95% are free usage, and but also the youth need some places to be. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so using the playground is the best insurance to have it kept nicely.
Yeah, and it's like this public kind of thing, that if lots of publics are using it, and there's like some people
social control.
Yes, social control. Yeah.
Okay, then another one on creating a school forest. If in the city we don't have many forests next to our schools, could this be a good idea?
Yeah, you should go and look at the Green Schoolyard America and Sharon Gamson-Dank's school forest actions, and what kind of school forests they have doing in California in quite small areas, but they just plant them very, very dense in the beginning, and then they lose them. But to make school forest with the kids sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Then another question for both of you, actually. In both talks, I mainly say kindergarten and primary schools. How can we also convince secondary schools? And what are their specific needs, since adolescents are playing less?
Well, the example I gave of the middle school is a secondary school. In Ghent, we have 4 secondary schools. So I think really really talk to the principal, to the teachers, to the students, what they want. I think they also still want some playground or adventurous playground. But it's more divided. I think you need to have a place where people can chill, and then a place where people can do sports, play adventurous games. I'm thinking about in scouting or in Giro, like in Belgium. Really think about that, like how we can introduce adventurous play.
Yeah, ask them places to chill. I was just thinking about Johan Lambrichs. They had some project about where you could a nice hut where you could like with solar panels get energy to your cell phone. But in Aalto University in Finland, they make these small studying places with year-round plants. So we get the change of the year you could follow with the plants, but it's like nice small rooms for more calming and to chill and study outside. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, good tips. Another one, I think for both, also maybe more for Raf, which biodiversity measures do you regularly integrate in the design of school grounds? How do you deal with measures that are maybe not perceived as child-friendly? So probably water and more risky things.
Mm-hmm. Like for water, it's still a thing that our department of education is holding back a little bit because of the safety measures. I still am talking about it with them, with the Department of Education, with the Green Service, and with facility management. But for water, I personally think it's a very good thing to introduce in the outdoor space. It can be as little as possible, as the pump that I showed, a little bit of water, but also with wadis we try to introduce. But from now we still close them off, that the teachers can choose, like, do we let the children in or not when there's water. But it's still a difficult issue, actually. And by plants for the safety measures, the really poisonous plants we don't introduce on kindergarten. But if there are plants that every plant is poisonous, actually. So if you eat like 30 leaves of a plant, you will get some stomach aches. But mostly the plant is so bitter that we don't think it's gonna be a mess, you know. So yeah, it's just a little bit like the mentality switch that has to go on, because every plant is poisonous, actually. So
yeah, I was talking with Aki Sinkkonen, the researchers, about the Finnish microbial exposure, what is good for kids and what is bad for kids, and he said we should have gamma and alpha proteobacteria more, and where are these gamma and alpha proteobacteria? It's in all the growing plants. any plant's leaves have alpha proteobacteria, and gamma proteobacteria is in downgradable, like logs that are dying in the ground, in the school ground. So we need more natural material to get these kind of bacteria that are positive. Of course, there can be some E. coli and some streptococcus, some bacteria that we don't want to have also, and we have the list in our book that what kind of plants you shouldn't put on the school ground or daycare ground, and what kind of plants are good for the kids. And then the Finnish studies are talking about just as the larger biodiversity is, the better. Try to get as many plants as you can, different plants, and that's how you can get the better exposure. We are fighting with the water and this rainwater usage. It's also, we have a quite nice system that we can choose if the water goes to the drain or to the play. The teacher can choose, or the kids can choose that, do we want the water to the play or straight to the drain? So that's quite nice. But still we are like afraid of the bird shit on the roof if it comes to the water. There's also bird shit on the ground, not only in the water on the roof. But big topics we are still fighting with. We are still fighting with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the example you showed, the video of the Japanese video, I think shows how much possibilities there is to add these elements, and also with small children, that they are able to kind of gauge risks, and that water is possible. If it's possible there, then it's also possible here, I think. I have an international question from Guimarães, if I'm not mistaken. Again, for the both of you, how did you convince the parents and the teachers in the schools you've already worked with? Did they think it was a good idea from the beginning? And how did you convince those who didn't agree to make the change? I can imagine sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah. I can say from a national level, we have in the city strategies like Lahti, Helsinki, it's like in the city strategies now that we have to make it more greener, the school ground or on the daycare ground. So it comes quite high up. And then we are using the taxpayer money now also. And we are like funding only 30%. So 70% is the schools or the municipality's own money. So we're just funding a small bit, but still we are funding to make it more greener. And I think that, like the project, I show you what they want. There was 66 parents, and then 230 kids that have been taking part of this planning before the school ground. So just involve them as much as possible. And we have this kind of involvement teams in many cities that are putting their time and effort to this before the projects, because sometimes the people who are building the school ground don't have so much time for the planning and involvement of the people. So these are like different kind of people who are doing the involvement. Yeah.
Yeah, I really try to focus on the positive things. So really come with the arguments we told about, like there's a stronger immune system, better concentration, less stress and anxiety. And I think, okay, the clothes of the children maybe will be a little bit dirtier, but if you gave all these positive points, I think it's hard to don't acknowledge that it's a better environment for the children to grow up in.
Mm-hmm. I have another question from Alan about what you talked about, Kristian, when seeing the difference in preference between what children, teachers, and parents want. How do you decide whose favorite you go for in the final design?
Your own gut feeling.
Well, who are the most important? You can ask that. Who are using it? Over 2,000 hours primary school and over 2,000 hours on daycare. Who are spending the time there? It's the kids. It's the kids who are. But still, we are like building a school ground for maintenance. Where can we drive with the big tractors to get the snow away? Where can we build big for to get sand, because it's very slippery. Lots of school grounds are slippery here because it's ice. So where can we build with the big machines to put sand, and that shouldn't be the main reason. We shouldn't build for the machines and cars, the school grounds. We should build it for the kids. And this is a big attitude problem we are fighting with every day. Yeah.
Then I also had a question for the both of you. For the work of you and your colleagues, what would really help to accelerate and scale up depaving and greening and renaturing school grounds? I'm thinking aloud, maybe also include the public domain, the school surroundings, the school streets. Is it getting more colleagues in your team, or is it about getting more funding or better knowledge to convince people, maybe changing regulations? What are really these things that could help us take the next step?
Yeah, I'm now thinking a lot in Finland about promoting. How can I promote this good school ground that we have already built and the good playgrounds? How can we promote this? How kids are playing in the nature? And I have some discussion already with the Finnish broadcasting TV company, the national TV, because I heard that we can, because I'm working for the government, it's free for us to do cooperation with the television. And there is lots of like youth and children's programs where you can show how to use the natural playground, how to use sticks for play. Kids doesn't really or stuff like this, and promoting the good ones. And then people look in the television. Oh, what is this natural playground? Why don't we have? Why do we build this wrong type of? Why do we copy this bad kind of school grounds? But one thing still, I showed in the beginning the three routes, and that was very interesting. I would like to have one of these 3 routes on every school ground in Finland, and the fallen tree to just study them. But in the news on Sunday there was that be afraid when you don't let the children go in the forest, because there can be these 3 routes where the tree is cut off, so the tree root can fall down on your kids. So now we have wolves, we have ticks, we have snakes, and we have these 3 roots that are dangerous in the forests. More dangerous things that people don't go in the forest. It's not good. We should change the know-how. Yeah.
Yeah, for us, it's really about funding, actually. I think yearly we have 2 projects we can do with the own money of the city, so to speak. But for the rest, we try to really get funding from the Flemish government or all kind of places where we can get it. So it's not really about more colleagues, also a little bit, but yeah, it costs a lot of money to depave an outdoor space. So the funding is really important for us.
That makes sense. Maybe another question, you kind of both talked about it, and it also relates to a part of the Rewild the City project that is about bringing justice into this greening discussion. So how can you design a school playground for both girls and boys? What do girls need to play and explore more? You both hinted on it already, and Kristian, you shared these charts, but maybe you can explain a bit more what your outlook is on the topic.
So we're also working that the kids have, the girls have their own times to play football. They have one time for boys and one time for girls to play football, and that kind. But in like this Finnish study, it was that almost anything else than football and ball sports was okay for the girls. So get them more active. But I have found at least five studies that say that just improving nature, making walk paths and have nature play is good for girls, and quite neutral, or good for girls and boys. So I think anything else than the ball sports, but ball sports are also good for girls if they have time, because the boys are so dominant in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me, when I'm designing, I'm not really thinking that deep about it for boys and girls. It's just more to facilitate everything that you want in your design. Active play, peace and quiet, all that kind of stuff. But for me personally, I'm not really thinking about boys or girls.
In Finland, we have this stick horse. You know, stick horses. You like build a horse, play
Yes,
horse,
yes.
and the girls do these jumping tracks, and those are mostly used by girls. You do jumping tracks and these fences you jump over with the stick horse. So that kind of stuff was more popular with girls.
So it's also about making diversity possible in these playgrounds, designing little, different parts, so it's not just dominated. And I think green and trees and adding these natural elements helps a lot to facilitate this different kinds of play for different children. Maybe a final question. I think we got a lot of them, or some of them relate to each other. There was a question about depaving and planting together with children, teachers, parents. Do you have examples of this in your own practice? So really involving the children.
The real big construction work, it's by law not allowed to the children on the construction sites when there are cranes and everything. So for that example, we haven't done it. Maybe in the future we'll really pop the tiles with parents. But if we go further into the foundation and everything, it's not possible. But planting days we already did with children, so that's a little bit easier to go with. We planted trees with children, we planted trees with parents, with teachers, with principals. So yeah, we already did that quite a few times actually.
Yeah, planting and the kids are very proud that they have been planting. Very proud planting the bushes with us, and then I would like to look at Berlin Grünmarschule, what they're doing there. Always with the kids, they are doing this mosaics or the balance. They are doing the construction with the kids, and that's really interesting how they are involving the kids during the projects. But now, like, we want all the schools that they should be like not open when the construction is done. We had one daycare ground in Finland that last year a 2-year-old fall under some construction trees and died because the construction was the same time as the daycare center was open, and this is so not unacceptable that this can happen. So be careful, as Raf said. Yeah.
I think the planting itself can also be a very educational moment. When you plant a tree, you need poles to bind it around. You have the ring to give it water. So you can really teach the children how do you plant a tree, which stuff you use for what. And also if the children planted it themselves, they will take care of it. So like in one school, we had a tree and it always got smashed. Yeah, the tree was broken after a few months, and then we planted the tree again, but with a lot of children, and now they take care of it more. So they also tell to the other children to take care of it and don't destroy the tree. So in the educational process, it can be really important also.
Last thing, we have good knowledge about how to build a protective area, the ropes, you protect the nature and build that stuff with the kids. And they can do the wooden sticks and the rope, the holes, and put them down, make them down in the ground, so they know that if that it gets broken, they can fix it, the kids, and so they have the ownership and wants to protect the nature on the school ground, and that's how they learn to protect the nature everywhere.
I think that's beautiful, and it also relates to what someone said in a response to one of the questions about how involving the local community also really helps with creating this sense of ownership. I think we have one very nice question to kind of wrap up the session. It's a question from Anne. If we look at playgrounds in the 70s, we have gone wrong in the past decades. Everything goes in flows or maybe in circles. Anne says she's very happy with the evolution to depaving and greening, but wonders how can we prevent in the future that we take the wrong way again. So maybe let's take a bit broader. How do you see playgrounds and school grounds of the future evolving, or what do you think the future will look like, and how would you like to accomplish that?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think that everybody, of course, wants that his design stays for the next 50, 70, 100 years. But I think if we keep doing research about it, keep telling why it's important, that we won't go back to the 70s, hopefully. So yeah, I think the vibe of the teachers and everybody, the mindset has to stay. And I think the question if global warming and everything is still a hoax is going out of people's minds, I think. So I hope, yeah, I don't know what the future will bring in 100 years, but I will hope it will stay the same as now.
Yeah, we have went so much forward also, like last 10, 15 years what I've been working with this. I felt very alone in the beginning, but now I have lots of teams, lots of people in Finland who are doing this, and these nice strategies of the city, in city level strategies, but now also like national level strategies that we should, it's like children's rights, children's rights in the national curriculum to get this, what is the school of the future. We have breathing there also, more nature contact, and just thinking about we are part of the, we can't be away from the nature. We are part of the ecosystem and nature, and understand that also in the future. So that makes us good. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a very hopeful note to end it on. I would like to thank you both, Kristian and Raf, for this very interesting contributions, and also the audience for asking these interesting questions. This won't be the last Rewild talk. We plan to have many more. In the second half of the year, we plan to have sessions on both underground infrastructure, so way more technical points, and then also another session on just greening, so how to bring in this justice aspect in the discussion about greening and how to implement it, and so on. But definitely the people who are here will get an invitation for that. And also after this webinar, you will get an email with the presentations of the speakers, of course, the recording of the session for later reference, a bunch of interesting links. There are people who also shared links to the International School Grounds Alliance conference, so I think that's also very relevant. Maybe, Kristian, your contact info, if people want to contact you with further questions. And of course, the Rewild the City website, and a forum on how to stay up to date. So yeah, that's me. Thank you again, everyone, for being here and for attending. And I think we've had many interesting discussions already, and we'll have many more to come. So thank you and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.